Hi there, welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dubston, and it is wonderful that you are here with me for our weekly I Ching forecast for this week, the week commencing the 22nd of February 2026. Last week we had that intense energy of Hexagram 49, revolution, overthrowing the old in our lives, embracing the new, letting that skin come off as snakes shimming between the rocks, allowing the old to clear out, embracing what is waiting to come into our lives, and the call that if other normal ways have failed, it's okay to be a little radical in throwing out the old, bringing in the new, and pushing through. Plus, Hexagram 43, breakthrough, being able to push through the last obstacle that's preventing us from moving forward, pushing through, making a decision, putting in the energy, being decisive, and doing. And so a very powerful combination of two hexagrams we've had this past week working through our lives. Amazing energy. I loved this past week. I had huge personal breakthroughs, some really interesting opportunities to change and do things differently. And a silly example. In my family, everyone loves vegetables as opposed to salad. I am the black sheep. I like salad instead of cooked vegetables. And this week I thought to myself, why do I always have to have cooked vegetables when I really like salad? So I made an announcement to everybody. As of now, if I feel like a salad, I'm going to make my own salad and make everyone vegetables. I'm absolutely at peace with that. And it was such a simple thing of actually, no, I want to do it this way. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. Okay, moving on. So that's a very silly example, but it was a great insight of actually, no, I'm not going to do it that way anymore. I'm going to do it like this. There goes the skin, the snake shimming in the rock. Okay, so for you, what worked through your life this past week? What were the insights the I Ching was trying to bring you around where the breakthrough, where the revolution, where the overthrow of the old needed to take place, and where you might have been holding on to the old skin for too long? If anything came up for you, silly or otherwise, it doesn't matter. Please do share a comment. Okay, so let's get into this week. It's the last week of February. It's exactly the last week of February because next week we start on the 1st of March with our next weekly forecast. What is the I Ching asking us to pay attention to this week? And it's another pair of hexagrams that speak the same language. They're very interesting how we have this collaboration this week and last week of hexagrams that really play well together and speak a similar truth. So our first hexagram for this week is hexagram 25, Innocence, also known as the unexpected. This hexagram brings us a powerful lesson in learning how to be simple, clear, in the moment, uncomplicated, and being ready to take what comes. Okay. It is a hexagram that challenges us to release overcomplications, complexity, those strings that tie us up and bundle us up in all kinds of warped, complicated overthinking, overanalyzing. Okay. What we do with this hexagram is we understand that sometimes unexpected opportunities come up and unexpected life things come our way. All right. We're going about life and spontaneously something just is suddenly in our midst. Let's assume it's something positive, an opportunity, all right? If we are caught up and trussed up in too much complexity in the way we think and the way we relate to the world, or literally practical complexity, we are unable to respond to the moment. It's like we've got all tangled up in a whole lot of ropes, and the more we're thrashing and trying to wrestle with life and make things happen, we get more and more tied up and trussed up. This process of getting tied up and trussed up can be around the way we think. It can be around the way we've designed our lives or the way we've designed something to work. It's just too complicated. And what it means is that when that opportunity comes up, we are unable to either see that opportunity as something we need to go for, or We are just unable to because we are so caught up in other things. Overcomplication, complexity in thinking. So this week, right, what we are being challenged to overcome is the desire to overcomplicate our lives, to overthink, and to come up with all kinds of clever thinking to try and tie things up, right, or make things work. Instead, what we have to learn to do this week, because the I Ching is bringing us an opportunity for us to do things differently, to learn, to expand our ability to make a meaningful contribution to our lives. What we are needing to focus on is we need to focus on being really simple and really open and very tuned into where we've made things too complicated, where we can disentangle, okay, from that complexity now, because we have the opportunity, and to stay absolutely present in the moment, because when that opportunity comes up, when the unexpected arrives, we are able to seize the moment, see the opportunity, and act, okay? So it might not be that this week is the week that the opportunity presents itself or the unexpected event presents itself. Sometimes when we find we have negative experiences, it's only much, much later that we actually realize that that negative experience was actually a positive opportunity that we couldn't see at the time. Okay. So this week, you might not find that unexpected event or that spontaneous moment presents itself. But what this hexagram is asking us to do is to focus this week on getting ready for it. And the way we get ready for it is we really unpack and understand where we've made our lives too complicated. Okay. Particularly this week, if you're making arrangements or you're doing planning, use this energy of this hexagram to say to yourself, where have I made this too complicated? Where's the complexity that's unnecessary? Keep it simple, stupid. KISS principle. Okay, so that's our job this week, is to be really simple, really open. And with this hexagram, I often feel like it's a real speaker to this idea of being present in the moment, present in the now. Okay, just being present in the moment, being present in the now, because when we try and overthink and think too far into the future, we overcomplicate things, right? Because you can plan, that's great, planning is important, but when you overthink all the permutations of problems or things into the future for an unknown event, we create so much noise, all right? It makes it very difficult to try and be present and to hear the quiet, soft voice of the opportunity that is chirping at us in the ever-present now. 2 changing lines this week in the 2nd and the 4th position. And so with this hexagram, what we look to in these changing lines are particular focus points of where we're overthinking, where we have expectations that don't meet the time, where we've created expectations. So remember, think about expectations as being an aspect of complexity. Because when you have expectations on people that are not communicated, you create strings. You create ropes that tie you into disappointment, misalignment on expectations, communication issues. Okay, expectations are something that are challenging to manage. So in the 2nd position, all right, this line says, you need to know the right moment for what you're doing. Okay, so when you are plowing the field, right, you're not harvesting. We know psychologically, okay, from a story point of view, when you are plowing a field and getting it ready for something, it's not a harvest moment. Okay, when you are, tilling the soil or you are clearing the land, you are not trying to plant, you're clearing the land. Okay, so this speaks to an expectation gap we have somewhere around, I'm clearing the land, I'm doing the prep, but as soon as I'm doing the prep, I'm also expecting the harvest. I'm expecting the next stage all to happen simultaneously. And there's something around this expectation gap where the I Ching is saying you'll get what you want, but right now what you have to focus on is doing the right thing at the right time. Okay. So there's something here that we are being drawn to where we are preparing for the harvest We aren't harvesting yet. That'll come. But what we do have to do is do an excellent job of the preparation. And somewhere in our lives this week, we are perhaps expecting that preparation and harvest are happening at the same time, an unrealistic expectation of timing. And that is what this hexagram is going to help us realign and reset. So as you go through this week, think about, where do I have an unrealistic expectation of timing on an issue? Where do you feel that frustration? Okay, wherever that frustration or that sense of urgency is coming up, that'll point you to the clue, or as a clue towards where this might be playing out for you. And let's realign and be realistic with the expectation. Are we preparing, or are we harvesting? Be at peace that it's preparation for now. Harvesting will come. Let's just be patient. Okay, and then in the fourth position, this line speaks to our expectation that what we have is always with us, is ours. Okay, so the little story that goes with this line is that what is yours will always be yours, even if temporarily you throw it away, right? Even if it seems to disappear, what is yours will return to you. What is yours. Okay. If the bounty is yours, it will find you, right? If that lost object is yours, it'll find you. There's an energy here of the expectation around attachment and what you have. And if you've lost it, or if you've made a decision where you've passed on the opportunity, you've passed on the thing, right? It's yours. If it's yours, it'll come back to you. If it's yours, it will stay with you, even if you can't see it yet. And there's something around this changing line this week where what we're being asked to do is not overthink this thing around what is mine and what I have, but is to be present in just continuing to persevere and show up on the important thing you're here to do. So there's things around patience and around being at peace that, similar to line 2, if you can't yet see the bounty, it's yours. If it's yours, it's yours. Okay. And put that aside. Take away that complexity and that overthinking, right? Analysis paralysis. Put it down. You don't need to worry about it. What you do have to worry about is showing up and doing the work and pitching up and persevering and showing up every day and moving the important thing you are here to do forward. Okay. So these are 2 lines giving us a little bit more insight around aligning ourselves with openness, spontaneity, getting rid of all the ropes and the threads that truss us up, right? Self-created most of the time. And being open and ready to react to the moment, because when that opportunity comes, we need to see it and we need to act. And maybe this week, something really wonderful pops out of the woodwork. And because you're tuned into it and you're open to it, you see it, you seize it, you bring the bounty home. Okay. Our second hexagram for this week that works in parallel flow of change, another aspect of development we're working with this week. I like calling this the victory hexagram. If we pull on this hexagram on the second one, we transform the first. There's an interesting interplay between the 2 states of change. And this is hexagram 61, centered truth or inner truth. You literally can see the structure of the hexagram. There's this openness in the center, right? The heart. This hexagram is about getting real, getting to the truth of matters, getting to your inside voice, and aligning your inside voice with your external voice. This is congruence, all right? So the person you are on the inside is the person that you're on the outside. Getting the parts of your life to line up, putting down masks, right? Being who you are, being in your truth, being centered in your truth, being aligned in the heart, and being open through the heart. I find with this hexagram, often when it comes up, it gives me the opportunity to hear the truth about something that I perhaps didn't want to hear or wasn't ready to hear before. So it's a great week as we work with this hexagram of the openness. Now that's why I said these 2 hexagrams fit together in a beautiful story like we had last week as well, where we have this idea of being open and spontaneous and being ready for the moment, decluttering and disentangling from complexity, and we have the centered truth. So we have this truth and insight and wisdom, and if we just be willing to be in our center and listen, and have a heart that's open, we can line up and we can receive truth and we can see clearly and we can be in our center, right? This is also a hexagram speaking to this idea of being in the ever-present now, but it's not a time thing. It's about being in yourself, being aligned and in yourself, in your true self. This also means making sure as we interact with others in this week that we put getting to the heart of the issue front and center. And I would say that's a really great little catchphrase to take away from the episode today, is get to the heart of the issue. All right. When you're in a situation in the workplace, help others to get to the heart of the issue. When you are sitting and wrestling with a situation, get to the heart of the issue. Okay. This is a way of we use the energy of the I Ching, okay, because we have this energy this week to get to the heart of the issue. So let's use that energy, all right, to find our center. When we are out of alignment with this hexagram or not mature in how we're dealing with this flow, right, we are putting on those masks. We're creating internal division. We are projecting an image to the world, but we're not living that truth. And that creates a dissonance that is really hard to manage. Here we are in our truth. We find our truth. We help others to find their truth in their moment. Doesn't have to be your truth, but it has to be theirs. And we stay focused in the heart, being open and ready to receive. Take the first hexagram, we put this together, stay rooted in the heart, be open, let go of all the mental paralysis that we tend to create around our lives, the complexity in thinking, and we just stay open. And let's see what comes to us this week as we just stay centered in the heart, focused on being open and getting to the heart of the issue. Let's see what magic can unlock for us for March as we head forward. All right, next up is our monthly overview for March and our first weekly forecast, hot on the heels of that episode. So let's see what March has in store for us. February obviously a short month, but pretty intense, lots of learning, lots of growing, and I'm sure it will continue into March as we use the I Ching as a tool to help us grow and expand and make a meaningful contribution to ourselves, to the people around us, to our world. Thank you for being here with me. If you enjoyed this episode, a thumbs up, a like would be super. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, the bell, the follow button on the podcast, and I'll see you for that monthly forecast very, very soon. Have a wonderful week.